Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. For many anime protagonists, specifically comedies, the main character is usually trying to get with the girl of his dreams. Some, however, have the main girl closer to them, even within the same house. In this list, we're going to be looking at some anime where the main character is forced to live with the girl. First up, we have Nakaimo, My Sister is Among Them. Shogo Mikadono's father has just passed away, and now he must become the head of the Mikadono group, his father's company. After completing the training to take over, there is just one other stipulation he must adhere to. He will need to find a girl he loves at his new school and marry her by the time he graduates high school. He has many girls to choose from, although the main problem is that one of the girls is his long-lost half-sister. He just doesn't know who. Next up, we have Hayore Nyaruko-san. Mahiro Yasaka is just an ordinary high school student, until one day he is suddenly attacked by a dangerous monster. Just when everything seems lost, he is saved by a silver-haired girl named Nyaruko, who claims to be a shape-shifting deity. She explains to Mahiro that the creature chasing him was an alien, who had planned on abducting him and selling him as a slave.
They'll tell you it's because what you were born with.
Next, we have Chivalry of a Failed Knight.
Sounds perfect, doesn't it?
That makes no sense at all.
But what if there's some sort of accident or something?
Also known as Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry in Japanese, this anime tells the story of the main character, Iki Kuragane, who starts to turn some heads when people realize just how powerful he is. Covering a short love story with lots of action, in just 12 episodes, this anime is definitely one that will be enjoyed.
But does it always have to be this way? I, Iki Kuragane.
Thank you, Director. I'm glad to be here.
And use it to wield extraordinary powers.
Next up, we have Engaged to the Unidentified. Just an ordinary teenager, Kobeni Yonomori receives quite the surprise on his 16th birthday, a fiancé and a sister-in-law she has never met. This comes as a result of an arrangement that her grandfather made before he died. Filled with comedy, school, and romance, it was first aired in January of 2014 and was finished in March of that year. Moving on, we have Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. Once it was a hot spring inn, and it is now a boarding house with extremely cheap rent. Yuragiso is virtually uninhabitable except for a few peculiar residents. As rumor has it, it is haunted by a vile ghost which scares away all potential tenants. First aired on the 14th of July 2018 and it contains 12 episodes filled with comedy and some romance.
であれば、私もアイドルになれば冬空の方から。
実はヤヤとはバイト先のお祭りで偶然会ったんすよ。
まあ、本当ですか？ユーナさんと。
おぼろー、単純接触しようぜ。
やっべえ、声出ちゃった。っていうか、全く弾かないな。
Next up, we have Monster Musume.
よし、主殿を一人にするわけには。なんでこんなとこに乗ってきゃいいんだよ。
カリス君、よく死なないね。
With his parents abroad, Kimihito Kurusu lives a quiet, unremarkable life alone until monster girls come crowning in. This alternate reality presents Japan, the first country to promote the integration of non-human species into society. As time goes on, he becomes host to many, many monster girls who call his house their home, and so continues the comedy-filled adventure.
人気のないところへ行きませんか？
大丈夫か？
大丈夫です。
何？
ああ、おはよう。
Next up, we have My Wife is the Student Council President.
今日も遅くなるのだろう？
しかし、本当にあの会長なのか？
Hayato Izumi is running for Student Council President. He is studious, responsible, and completely outmatched by his rival. He subsequently loses the race, but ends up settling for Vice President. Things get even crazier when a decision made by his parents long ago affects his life now, and the life of his new wife, who just happens to be the new Student Council President.
早く食べてください。遅刻しますよ。
では、いただきます。おかえりなさい。
おかえりなさいじゃありませんよ。ああ！俺の部屋のベッドを貸したはずですが。
こんにちは。
Moving on, we have the pet girl of Sakura So. When abandoned kittens and his good conscience force second-year Sorata Kaneda to move into the infamous Sakura Hall at Sume High School, it is especially difficult for Sorata considering how crazy the other occupants of the hall are. First released in October of 2012, this anime is filled with drama and has an ending that you probably would not expect.
わかりました。生前からばなんとやら。
ああ、いらっしゃい。
何やの入ってるこんな。
違います。
なんであんたが管理人なのよ。
Next up, we have Love Hina.
船田浪人浦島慶太郎。みんなを癒す温泉系アニメ。
Keitaro Urashima promised a girl when he was young that they would meet up again at Tokyo University in the future. Sadly, in the national practice exam, Keitaro didn't do too well. Knowing his grandmother owns a hotel, he intends to stay there while continuing his studies for the Tokyo University, only to find out that the hotel has been transformed into an all-girls dormitory. He eventually becomes the manager of the dorm and begins his new life living with 5 other girls.
約束のために東大を目指してラブヒナ今夜10時28分から絶賛勉強中村にやってきた冴えないあったかい日向荘においで
Next up, we have My Bride is a Mermaid.
Nagasumi's in hot water after a beautiful young mermaid named Sun saves him from drowning. The deep-sea sweetheart's dad is a merman yakuza.
During his summer vacation, middle school student Nagasumi travels to the Seto Inland Sea. One day, while swimming in Miosun Beach, his leg suddenly cramps. No one is close enough to notice his desperate screams for help, and so he sinks into the ocean, where he is left to drown alone. Just as he loses consciousness, however, a mermaid appears and saves his life, and so begins the comedy romance-filled story.
My Bride is a Mermaid, Part 1, coming soon.
And with that, we have come to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content just like this. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.